step one is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees.
Ingredients needed for the brownies are 1 stick of melted butter, 2 eggs, half a cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 cup of sugar. So this recipe can be made in a regular mixing bowl, or you can do this using an electric mixer. Our first step is to whisk together the melted butter and sugar. So here's our melted butter. I'm gonna pour that in. And now I'm gonna add the 1 cup of sugar to the bowl. I'm gonna take my whisk and start to mix this together until it's nice and fluffy. And well combined. Next, we're gonna continue to add our wet ingredients to this. So that's our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and our 2 eggs. So notice that the eggs are in a custard bowl. We're gonna crack the eggs separately into the custard bowl and then add it to our mix. That way we can check for any shells before adding it to the mix. So I'm gonna crack 1 egg at a time into the custard bowl. 1, check for shells. 2. Once I know there are no shells in the egg, I'm gonna add that in. And I'm gonna continue to use my whisk to mix the wet ingredients together. So it's well combined. So once all of our wet ingredients are combined, we're gonna start to add our dry ingredients to the bowl. So that's our all-purpose flour, the unsweetened cocoa powder, and the salt. So once everything's measured on the wax paper, you can just take your wax paper, lift it up, get all of the dry ingredients into the bowl, shake it in, and we're gonna whisk this again, and you're gonna see our brownie batter start to form. So you wanna whisk slowly, get the sides so everything is well combined. You want to continue to mix until you don't see any dry spots or lumps. So notice the batter is nice and smooth. At this point, we're gonna start to prep the pan to pour the batter into. So we're gonna be prepping an 8x8 square pan to bake the brownies in. So what you're gonna do is take a little bit of butter and you're gonna grease the pan lightly with the butter. So you wanna get the bottom of the pan, the sides of the pan, just lightly coated. The excess butter can be put to the side. Next, you're gonna take a spoonful of flour and sprinkle this in the pan and gently tap the flour across the pan. Any excess flour, you can tap it into the garbage so it doesn't get stuck to the brownies. So as you can see, the 8x8 pan is nicely prepped. I tapped the excess flour into the garbage. Now I'm gonna use my rubber spatula to scrape the batter into the pan. So I'm gonna hold that up. I'm gonna take the spatula and scrape all of the batter into the pan. I'll show you what that looks like once I'm done. So I scraped all the batter into the pan with my rubber spatula. I'm gonna now spread the batter across the pan evenly into all of the corners as best as I can. Okay. Also want to give your pan a little tap so any air bubbles settle to the bottom. At this point, we're gonna pop it in the oven. Now we're gonna place the pan in the oven that's already preheated to 350. Close it, and we're gonna set the timer for 25 minutes. You'll see what the brownies look like once they're done baking. After time has gone off, you want to take a toothpick and insert the toothpick into the baked brownies just to check for doneness. You want to make sure that the toothpick comes out clean, and then at this point we want to allow the brownies to cool completely before cutting into them.